Hi everyone. So this is a bit new for me. For the past, couple of months, my brain has been going a million miles an hour. I'm a 40-year-old bloke from the UK, and I've recently stumbled onto something that has completely reframed my entire life. I'm starting to understand that I'm probably autistic. I started to consider this as I found myself in trouble at work after taking on a new role that involved more social interaction. My communication style was creating issues when I felt I was just being myself. I was confused by the feedback I was receiving about how I was coming across to others, as it had never been an issue before, or at least I had not seen it as such until I was forced to reflect. I read up on it and watched some videos on YouTube and felt the theory I was autistic was all making sense to me. I contacted my GP and scored highly on the initial test that was about 10 questions designed to measure autistic traits. But it's more than that. It's like I've been given a key to a lock I didn't even know existed. For the first time, the confusing, frustrating, and just plain weird parts of my life are starting to click into place. I'm on a waiting list for an assessment, but I know that's going to take a long time. So I thought I'd start documenting this journey now. Maybe my story will help someone else out there who's starting to ask the same questions about themselves. For my first visit to the doctor, I had rushed out about 8 pages of notes showing signs of autism, all these memories and traits. I suddenly saw these in a new light. So for this first video, I just want to talk you through some of them. This is my story so far. When researching autism, the first thing I related to straight away was social confusion. I've always felt like I'm missing a page, and that was the exact phrase I wrote down in my notes. I've seen that term discussed a lot as I've researched more. I'm often told I'm blunt. Sometimes this can make me ask more questions, and it can really take me a long time to feel like I get it. My friends have always seen it as a kind of humour, and I think that humour has been my mask for many years. But it's put other people off, and then I just shut down from those people, not knowing what to say. Eye contact is a big one. I can cheat on this editing app by just clicking on the eye contact, but I'm even struggling to maintain it with the camera. I was bullied at school for being rubbish at eye contact, and people have commented on it my whole life. I'm so aware of it that I actually mention it to people when I first meet them. I find eye contact intimidating and confusing, and I need verbal cues to really engage with someone. At parties or social gatherings, I never understand the hints when it's time to leave, or I'm not aware of when a conversation is becoming an argument. I sometimes overshare and have a lack of tact. I just don't get the social rules I am breaking. And I feel like I've always needed alcohol since I was 18 and started drinking. It's felt like an essential social lubricant. Before that, I was cripplingly shy. I wouldn't even get on a bus if I didn't have the exact change. My anxiety was so bad. Then, there's the way my brain needs things to be. I'm very methodical. When I've been in management roles, I'll plan my team's day to the minute. It kept everyone busy, but honestly, I think it also helped me avoid the stress of social interaction. And I need things to be tidy. I can't relax if there's clutter. I'd rather something was thrown in the bin than left out of place. In fact, if I see one thing out of place, I have to go put it away there and then, even if it's all the way across the house. I can't just gather things together to put away later. And when I get interested in something, it's all consuming. I don't just like it, I have to become an expert. Video games? I wouldn't just play them, I would have to unlock every achievement and collect everything. There's a game called World of Tanks that I've played for about 10 years now, and I have to unlock all of the tanks. And then it doesn't stop there, I also have to get the memorabilia, visit museums, it's the whole thing. It's been the same with collecting. Me and my sister always joke that we have the collector's gene in our family, but I feel like it goes a bit beyond that. It used to be DVDs, I had hundreds, maybe thousands, and more recently it was Funko Pops, where I spent thousands again on completing the collections. And now it's beer kegs from Perfect Draft. I have to try them all and know everything about them. People have told me I sound like a sales rep for whatever I'm into. It's not just a hobby, it's a need. Then there's the sensory world and that feeling of overwhelm. This is the big one I never had words for. For example, I've slept with a fan on since I was a teenager. Not for the cool air, but for the noise. Any little distracting sound keeps me awake, and it's become a bit of a ritual. I can't sleep without it. I hate wearing stuff. I never wear my wedding ring unless it's a special occasion. I didn't wear a suit for my own wedding, and I hate the feeling of sun lotion on my skin. I can just about cope with a Fitbit as it has a function and a purpose. I had an accident where I crushed a nail about 10 years ago, and I've never let them grow back properly because I'm constantly biting them and picking at them. I really need help. When stress builds up, all this can really lead to a sense of overwhelm. I can have outbursts. They're short, maybe maximum of about 30 seconds, where I shout, throw something, push an object, and then it's like a pressure valve has been released and I'm completely calm. The anger builds up so quickly and I can't control the need to get it out. And while it's never violent, it can be scary for those around me. I've walked out of jobs because of this build-up of stress and confusion before. I get so hung up on things not being done right or policies not being followed, and I can't let it go when management just wants me to drop it, when probably doing that would serve me better. And there's the concept of masking and the realisation that I have been doing that. For years, I think I've been masking without knowing it. My wife has been amazing. She sort of enabled me. For example, she agreed to no dancing at our wedding and didn't pressure me to do speeches at funerals. If I feel everyone's looking at me, I freeze and I panic. When I was a kid, I was pretty much a swot at school, but I would skip drama lessons. I was so scared of people watching me. Since I've had kids myself, that has helped me to mask things. I have to be normal for them. It helps me with my routine, and it's a great excuse to see the wider family, as it's for the kids, so they can see them. It's never about me. I'm really uncomfortable with that attention. But the mask can be exhausting. After a social event, I'm drained. My wife knows I'll need to stay up for hours alone, sometimes until 2 or 3 in the morning, just to recover in the silence. And then the confusing part is that I also have the intense need to be social. I start to feel very disconnected if I've not seen my friends for a week or two. The penny really started to drop for me when I became friends with a few autistic colleagues at work. For the first time, socialising felt easier. I understood their humour better and the conversations made more sense. I'd always thought it was a bloke thing to need an activity to socialise, such as going to watch football or playing pool, but I've realised it might be more than that. I started researching and it was like a dam breaking. This overwhelming feeling of everything finally making sense. I've started to mention my theory to a few older friends, and a couple of them have said they feel like they might be autistic too. And it does feel like throughout the course of my life I might have gravitated more towards those people who have those traits. So, that's where I'm at. A 40-year-old man looking back on a life of feeling out of place, of social confusion, of intense passions and sensory quirks, and finally seeing a pattern that fits. A diagnosis for me isn't about getting a label or making excuses for certain behaviours. It's about understanding. I want to understand my own behaviours, especially for my kids, so that I can be a better dad for them. I want to learn how to manage my stress at work so I don't end up in trouble, and I want to stop feeling guilty for needing to be alone, or for the awkward quirks like sleeping with the fan on. This journey is just the beginning. The diagnosis process will be long, but the self-discovery has already started. If any of this sounds familiar to you, if you're also in your 30s, 40s, 50s or beyond and starting to ask these questions, maybe we can figure this out together. This is the first of what I hope will be many videos documenting this process. Let me know in the comments if you've had similar experiences. If you're discovering autism late like I have, what has been your light bulb moment? I'll go more in depth in the following videos into some of the areas I've discussed. Thanks for listening. Hopefully we can get through this together.